Hey guys, so this is part two of the Vol'jian fan-made species, and this part will cover the war between the Vol'jians and the Chiss. And so this is part two, so I hope you guys enjoy this part two of the story of the fan-made species I made, and hopefully we can see what we can come up with. Enjoy. The Vol'jians, after centuries of peace, um, managed to grow their culture as well as their population, as well as their technology over time, and they became one of the most advanced civilizations in galactic, society. Basically, became very powerful at this time during the 1,000 years of peace as it's been. It's kind of like its second golden age, just with better technology, hundreds of years later. Their empire was actually more stable than it was before, its second empire, actually. The first empire, its predecessor, was regarded as a failure, but the second empire managed to become its successor. So the Vol'jians managed to recover after the whole Rakata War and all the past events that happened before. The Vol'jians, the warrior culture, began to grow more on military as they began to expand, colonized, and try to bring other planets to their control at this time. It was like an age of expansion for them. As they conquered and recaptured some of these worlds, they began to build the ion cannons or defense systems, basically bettering the planet's defenses, maintaining their economy, and keeping their local civilian populations in check. Also, they managed to rebuild their military, but with better technology than ever was before, expanding upon the military and developing this kind of militaristic, dictatorship type of military force during this time. And they always have been for, thousands and thousands of years. And with the highly advanced technology and generals who are very technical geniuses in their own right, they had ideas of expansion. But the only way to do this is that they need to send small ships in the unknown regions, because remember, the unknown regions is dangerous. So why not send out ships, smaller vessels with crews, to look for new species to conquer and settle. These exploration fleets, or whatever you call them, were very successful. When unfortunately that came with another species who were also very intelligent and also near human-like species, and of course that species is the Chiss, that we all know from Star Wars, both Legends and canon. But for the sake of this video, it's mostly strictly on Legends, simply because it has more content. But anyways, they came in contact with the Chiss, and the Chiss, as we all know, were very isolationist. They didn't necessarily trust anyone, and I think with the Vol'jians, they would most certainly distrust them, and they would know of their expansionist views. So they would see the Vol'jians as a threat, and they would destroy these expeditionary fleets as a way to say, hey, you guys don't really owe or capture us or our planets, stay out of our way, or we're gonna, fight you, which I bet the Chiss would do anyways with the Vol'jians. Of course, this angered many of the Vol'jians, who see this as an act of war. The Fujians, who were part of the Vol'jian Empire, wanted to negotiate with them, but unfortunately, the Chiss at this time didn't necessarily accept any negotiations from the Vol'jians because of their rash and rude actions. And the Romalians too also wanted to go in the war with the Chiss. So war was inevitable. And finally, war broke out between the two species at 125 BBY to 100 BBY. Finally, this war was bloody and brutal, with two other species taking the offensive narrative, but with the Chiss as the defense and the Vol'jian Empire and as the offense. The Vol'jians, with their superior technology, managed to push into Chiss territory, trying to take over worlds and planets as they could. But the Chiss managed to hold off the Vol'jian attacks and their territories, pushing the Vol'jians back and two of their allied species back as well. By pushing them back, they would be able to secure more territory. The only planet that the Chiss were able to have lost was Kath, and Kath was the only world that was lost. But many other battles and other worlds were disasters for the Vol'jian military, which they never met an opponent that was equal or greater skill compared to theirs. Both militaries show no quarter, giving no signs of mercy or regret. As both Chiss and Vol'jians gathered their forces in one final confrontation, the battles for these worlds were lost, and the Vol'jians were getting pushed back. The Vol'jians, knowing that they would be able to lose this war, made a final offensive, which was known as the final battle for Kath. As many Vol'jians and Chiss have died during this battle, and millions upon millions were killed in the process in this war, the Chiss were able to be proven the victors, and the Vol'jians, in no desperate need to fight at this time, decided to surrender to the Chiss. This was very shocking for the Vol'jians, as they never expected this war to come such a brutal and quick end. The Vol'jians would send the Fujians as their diplomats, as they always have done in the past, to make peace negotiations with the Chiss. This worked favorably with the Chiss, who were also very intrigued for peace as well. The Chiss simply demanded that all the Vol'jian soldiers and their allies must stay out of Chiss space to create some sort of peace between the two species for millions of years to come. And the Vol'jians simply agreed to the terms, and so they never got involved in the war with the Chiss again. Unfortunately, however, this caused deep hatred and rivalry between the two species that will last for centuries, possibly even decades. I bet this hatred was even far worse than, say, the hatred with the Rakata. And now, basically, the Vol'jians' history is basically left unknown. But what we can say for certain that they would play a larger role, though, in galactic politics during the time that we all know and love in Star Wars and the prequels. Well, yeah, you can kind of see where I'm going at here at this moment in time. And that is the Clone Wars. How will the Vol'jians play a massive role within the Clone Wars? Will they support the Republic, the Separatists, or would they stay independent? These are questions that I will possibly leave in these comments down below, honestly. And you guys would decide whatever you think, what the Vol'jians would decide, what would they do. But basically, I believe the Clone Wars would be a turning point, and that the Vol'jians would become a new rising power in the unknown regions, along with the Chiss, the CC Rook, and many other species in the unknown regions, becoming a dominant power in their own right, I believe, during the time of the Clone Wars and beyond. And this concludes the end of part 2. So thank you guys for at least watching this part of the video. I know there are some unanswered questions and other ideas that are probably left out there. But this is part 2, and I thank you guys for watching the video. Please subscribe and watch the video, whatever you guys want, or comment down below, and I can see what I can do. Have a real great day, you guys. Peace.